ESPN's coverage of NASCAR Nextel Cup Series on ABC. Brought to you by Office Depot, the official office products partner of NASCAR. And Chevy, an American Revolution.
Back at Talladega, 106, 188 laps are in the books, and Tony Stewart has never won at this racetrack. Has finished second 6 times, is our leader. Vickers, Montoya, Kyle Busch, and Elliott Sadler in the top 5. Pit stops took place just a few laps ago. In fact, back on lap 93. To be able to get these guys back on the racetrack and huddle back up in a single file draft.
It looks like these guys on the bottom are trying to organize a little bit of a draft, trying to see if they can get by this outside lane. And we got 3 cars down there now. Some of these guys are starting to line up.
8 cars, Dale Earnhardt Jr. now getting back in line. And Alan, there was a little bit of interesting things happening in the 8 pit during his latest pit stop.
Yeah, Doc, when Dale Jr. just took 2 tires on the right, Ryan Newman behind him took 2 tires on the right. Watch the Jackman in the red uniform there, watching his car leave. Did we do a good stop? We're going to get out first. Well, meantime, here comes Newman. Thunk, thunk, spits that Jack right out. Well, that damaged the left side tires on the 12 car, so he had to come back in and take left side tires and drop to the end of the line on that caution flag. That's why Newman is not up in that lead pack right now.
For more information on pit safety, log on to ESPN.com, search word safety. Boy, what a tough break for Ryan Newman.
Well, that's why you don't turn your back on oncoming traffic. Is that right there? That was actually Jackman's fault. That was not Ryan Newman's fault. These guys need to get that equipment and move it out of the way just as soon as possible. Clear that pit road.
You can tell that Jackman is pretty excited about watching his car leave. He just got his mind off what he was doing. He dropped that Jack and turned his back to the oncoming traffic and almost got run over.
Lots of competitive cars all over the racetrack. Tony Stewart leading here. Vickers, Montoya, Kyle Busch, Sadler. Now, one of the cars that's been very strong here has been the 1 car of Martin Truex Jr. Here's what they had to say on his radio just a moment ago.
Yeah, the car's been strong, Martin. Obviously, Toyota's, Abraham Dodge's 43 has a Dodge motor and an Abraham Dodge motor. 919, 43. And they got faster, but it was because the whole bottom line finally got together and they were able, that 1 lap they were better, but you know, you obviously got back by them when it got to the high side juggling yet. But Toyota's and Dodge motors really good and strong.
Well, he's exactly right about the Abraham Dodge engines, because right now Elliott Sadler just took the lead with Casey Kane right behind him. And look at Michael Walker pushing the 8 car at Dale Jr.
Little bump draft there on Casey Kane. You see just how much of a shot that gives him. And here comes Junior on the inside.
And Junior gave him a good shot, and he had so much rhythm. He just pulled down to the bottom and cleared him. And now the 55 of Michael Walker decides he tucked in behind Junior.
Definitely got 2 lines of traffic here with a couple. Actually turned into 3 lines of traffic coming off the corner.
Looks like right now they're starting to get racy again. 3 wide racing. Right before that last pit stop, we saw this, and it got broken up, and now it's back at it.
Denny Hamlin right here digging on the bottom of the racetrack, trying to move by the 55 car. He's going to try to get his car right up in line behind the 8 car and push this bottom line by.
It actually looks like when they get a good draft in the bottom, it's the shortest way around the racetrack, and that bottom lane started working. Earlier in the race, it was a top lane.
Still looks like that top lane's got a slight advantage. I know Junior's really working it hard down on the bottom, but the top lane seems to have a little bit of an advantage.
Now here entering turn 3 a lap ago is where the 8 car really showed some muscle when he got to be able to push and be able to run up there with those Dodges. See if he can reel them in again here. The 19 and the 9, the 2 Gillette Abraham Dodges, 1-2, Sadler and Casey Kane.
Kind of funny how this works out. The truck race yesterday, it seemed like the bottom lane was the only lane to be in. You try to move to the top, those guys couldn't make any ground. But these cars here seem really like that high line.
And Friday here at Talladega, they had an ARCA race. And in the ARCA race, the 2nd lane and the top lane are the 2 fastest lanes. If you were in the bottom, you were really in trouble. They keep that momentum wound up, and they keep these RPMs up. And that's what you can do when you're in the top lane. The race was going to end right now. Clint Boyer's our points leader with Jimmy Johnson in 2nd. Tony Stewart falling back into 3rd. And Jerry, these points are just getting scrambled every single lap here.
Race number 4 in the 10-race chase for the NASCAR Nextel Cup, and it's getting serious. And in the late laps here at Talladega, lap 111.
Guys, I was talking to Ray Abraham before this race started. He told me, he said, with this new engine combination, that if they got in a car tomorrow, they think it really benefits the Dodges and the Toyotas. They're running close to 8,700 RPM, and that's the power range their engines like to run at. He thinks that Ford and Chevy don't have as good engines right now.
The reason for that is that Ford and Chevy engines are actually running a little past their power peak. They make peak power, say, around 7,800 to 8,000 RPM. These Dodges and Toyotas, they seem to make peak power at a broader range, and maybe even up in that 8,500 to 9,000.
Lap 112. Now, drafting is so critical here, particularly teamwork here in the draft. Now, watch the Gillette Evernham cars get into draft lock, the 9 and the 19.
See Dale Earnhardt Jr. mind helping him. Let's watch this. Our draft lock is getting ready to go solid white right now. They're in a perfect lock.
Caution as the one car erupting an engine.
There's another one of those RCR DEI engines.
Remember Richard Childress Racing and Dale Earnhardt Incorporated.
Stay straight, stay straight.
Those two companies have merged, especially under restrictor plate programs, and now we've had two failures out of that camp right now.
Mark Truex Jr. did a great job not to spin the car out. He got in the grass right there. Sure, he had a lot of oil and stuff on the tires.
So the second of our chasers having engine trouble. The 31 car, Jeff Burton, exiting on lap 98 with engine troubles. And here on lap 113, watch the one car, left of your screen.
Very similar to what Jeff Burton had. You don't see any fire, but you still see the smoke coming out both sides of the car. Can't see inside the car either. Martin's probably not even able to see it all right here. We're riding with Martin Truex right here.
Middle clear.
You see all that smoke instantly. Can't see it.
A lot of times, that's what it looks like looking out the front of the windshield, too, guys. You just can't get the vision. Right now, he's turned around backwards on pit road. Did a good job keeping her off the track and went down pit road backwards, and they're getting behind the wall, keeping the oil off the track.
Kevin Mannion and company trying to get him back there to take a look now from Harvick's onboard camera. Watch.
He's on the bottom. Stay up high. Stay up high. Everybody still straight.
That's a driver's nightmare when you're trying to drive through all that smoke. You can't see anything, and you're running the speed these guys are running.
Lap 114, we should get pit stops, and here they will come. Truex had issues. Elliott Sadler, Casey Kane will lead him down. Let's go down to Dave.
And this is a bit of a break for Casey on that last pit stop. They didn't get him quite full of fuel, so they would have had to pit early, or at least with the first group of cars. He'll take on at least two right side tires, Mike.
Sorensen still struggling with a little bit of overheating. He'll take more tape off the grill. No tires, fuel only for the 41. Jamie.
And Ryan Vickers came in fourth position. 4 tires, fuel. Car seems to be fine despite that transmission problem earlier.
Elliott Sadler pits from the lead, and he's already gone. Just right side tires on the 19 car, and they top up.
There's the race off of pit road. Sadler, as you heard Alan say, right sides only. He will keep the lead. Earnhardt Jr., the big gainer. Casey Kane, the big loser in that exchange on pit road. Back in just a moment. Back at Talladega Superspeedway, Martin Truex has climbed out of his car in the garage area, talking to Steve Mill there. Engine has come unglued here on lap 113. Left side of your screen, watch this plume of smoke. As you see the engine just come apart. What happens when this happens on the racetrack? Let's go down to our ESPN Dish Tech Center and Tim Brewer.
Thanks, Jerry. What we're going to show you here, folks, we're anticipating a lower end failure right here. That's more than likely, like Andy said earlier, light oil. You see these motors today, they're turning 8,700 RPM. That's devastating. But when these parts break, folks, step over here. We're going to show you what all the smoke comes from. When all the parts get to bouncing around down through here, they're going to knock all the holes in the oil pan, knock the oil lines off. All that oil comes out. These headers are cherry red. That's where all the flames come from, like Jeff Burton's car, as well as Truex right then. RCR having a bad day here at Talladega.
Great explanation, Tim. For more information on engines, log on to ESPN.com. Search word Tech Center. Examining exactly what happened to that car. Now remember, there were 7 cars with that engine package here today. 2 now are in the garage area. We'll tell you who the other 5 are as we get set to go back to the green flag here on lap 115. Nods of Elliott Sadler leading him down. Tony Stewart behind him. In the Chevy, Juan Pablo Montoya third, and Reed Sorensen is fourth spot in the Dodge. While they come up to full speed, let's visit with Martin Truex, who's in the garage area with our Dave Burke.
Yeah, and he's had a chance to talk things over with most of the team, including the motor guys. Martin, could you tell at all what part of the engine gave way?
Yeah, the bottom end came apart. Not sure what happened, but motor was running good. Car was really good, and we got in a little altercation there at one time, lost it on track position. We were getting back towards the front. The car was really, really fast. I was real happy with it. And it's just frustrating, you know. The last 3 weeks, just we've had great cars capable of winning every race, and we just can't seem to find any luck. So we'll just keep going. We'll try to win races. From here on out, let's do the best we can. And we're way back in the points are not looking good, but we can still win a bunch of races. So we'll just go have some fun.
I try to keep positive attitude. That's Martin Truex, guys.
Truex the second, of course, in the garage area with engine trouble of 31. Also there with Burton. The other 5 guys who have that engine package are still on the racetrack are Kevin Harvick, Clint Boyer, Paul Menard, Eric Almirola, and Dale Earnhardt Jr. Those are the 5 cars that have the exact same engine package as the 2 we just saw fail a moment ago.
You know who I think's looking racy right here is that Juan Pablo Montoya. He's got one of those Dodge engine packages we were talking about earlier. Looks like he's got a really great race car here, and so is his teammate, Reed Sorensen, in the 41 car right behind him.
I just saw the 8 car, Dale Earnhardt Jr. coming through the last turn 4 right there. Got very, very loose. That car got way out of shape. Got wiggling big time to gather to back up. But that's the first car we've seen get loose out there all day long.
Well, most of these cars are just glued to the racetrack. You don't see them do that at all unless they get contact.
Elliott Sadler, Tony Stewart, and Juan Pablo Montoya doing awfully well for the Dodge. Speaking of Juan Pablo, and drivers coming over from open wheel, revealed the results from our AT&T Crew Chief Challenge, and the question was, which Indy 500 winner will have the most successful NASCAR career? Montoya, boy, it's a close one. A lot of people believing, and I'm one of them, that Sam Hornish is going to be very good when he gets here and gets to run full-time, if he does, or come run part-time in Cup. And, of course, Villeneuve and Franchitti both getting votes.
I think the edge comes just like Russell said. We've seen Juan Pablo Montoya run well and win races on a road course, so haven't seen these other guys what they can do yet, but don't tell me.
Well, you know Sam Hornish is going to run good. The guy's just too good of a driver driving that Penske team right now. Just had some really bad luck trying to get these cars qualified. But that's one fellow you know knows how to drive. One Indy 500, several big races. He can get it done when he gets in there.
Yeah, Sam's going to be at Local Motor Speedway and Martinsville. They're on the next 2 events here, so hopefully they'll get qualified and get some laps in the Cup car. Lap 119 of 188. Let's bring you up to speed on the 12 drivers in the chase, starting with Dave Burns.
And Tony Stewart trying to have a good day out there. A good finish to the day. Has finished second here multiple times. And speaking of 2, that is the number of tires he took on that last stop. 2 right side tires, playing the back and forth game. That was for track position, and he got it. Mike?
I guess the best way to describe the emotion coming into this race is apprehension. However, Kurt Busch was one of the very few drivers looking forward to this race. He feels like restrictor plate racing has been a strength for Penske Racing. They finished 3rd in his last 3 restrictor plate races and running strong once again today, Alan.
After having trouble in the last couple of races here in the chase, Denny Hamlin talked before this race about taking a couple more chances, needing to get aggressive and try and go for it a little bit more than he had been earlier. Hamlin has been one of the front runners in this race all day. Right side tires only on their last stop. Was 10th the last time they crossed the start-finish line, Mike.
And Alan, I just spoke with the engine tuner for Kevin Harvick in regards to the engines that have been lost with Jeff Burton and Martin Truex Jr. Asked him whether or not he was concerned. He said no. Reason being, they're running their car a lot cooler and the RPM's a lot lower than those 2 guys. So right now they're feeling pretty confident that 29 will survive.
And Kyle Busch in the 5 car back in 27th, the farthest back he's been since the beginning of the race. But this is all part of his strategy. He's finally found his teammates and Jimmy Johnson right behind him. So they're going to work together, watch the 48 and the 5 work together to go to the front. Dave?
Jamie with a 4-tire stop on that last pit stop. Carl Edwards has set him up for a possible 2-tire stop at the end. But the main thing is he's still in the race. Remember earlier, Biffle talked about hitting him when he got spun by the 38. Carl radioed about that. Wow, I thought we were done. That was really close. Jamie?
And Jimmy Johnson, who I mentioned, I asked his crew chief, Chad Canals, is this all part of the deal, hanging in the back? He said, yeah. He said, I know it's boring for you guys at home, but he said, just wait. Give us about 15 more laps. We're going to hook up with our teammates, and we're going to make a run for the front. Dave?
And the 17-car Matt Kenseth recovered from earlier problems. There was actually a wheel weight off a right rear tire that came off the 17 car, so that was one of the vibration issues he had earlier. Thinks he can race here at the end. Had a 4-tire stop, is set up for his last stop. Again, being one of those quick 2 or no tire stops. Alan?
Jeff Gordon's been hanging around in the back all day. They've pitted a lap later than the lead lap cars could all race. Why? Trying to stay out, lead a lap, and get 5 bonus points for the championship. Problem is, somebody else has had that idea every time. They've not yet led today. Gordon, he's got a good car, but still hanging around. Jamie?
And Clint Boyer pitted 1 lap later as well from the rest of the pack. Why lead a lap and get those 5 extra points? Now, Boyer came over the radio after he heard his teammate Jeff Burton blew. He said, man, I've got a vibration. I'm worried it's my engine. They said, calm down, come in, we'll check it out. It turned out it was the set of tires. The vibration is gone, and Clint's feeling a lot better about his situation. Doc?
Great update, folks, and I guess when you heard teammates had an engine trouble, you hear some vibrations, it can start to play, your mind can begin to play games with you here. Clint Boyer, very concerned. Fortunately, it was not an engine-related issue. Elliott Sadler, 32-year-old driver, leading the way here with 65 laps to go at Talladega Superspeedway. Back after these messages and a word from our ABC stations.
This telecast is available on ABC HD, presented by ZLP HD TV.
When you're in the draft, there's a pocket of air that allows your car to go faster. When somebody's tucked in right behind you at Talladega, sometimes there's the 3 wide, the 4 wide, and it's definitely very nerve-wracking. But you can't back out of it because there's guys right behind you.
Things always change. It's constantly evolving around you and which line you're in, which cars are moving. It's hard to make plans or make friends, and it just seems like everybody does what's best for them all the time.
In the draft, I mean, it's kind of a popularity contest. You can watch certain people pull out. If 1 or 2 guys decide to go with the person, it makes a huge difference.
Some people probably talk about it before the race. What I've found through the years is that it just never works out. So it's kind of more just seat your pants thing.
Talladega's, it's basically just a chess match at 180 miles an hour, which sounds kind of crazy, but it's a lot of fun if you have a fast race car.
And whether it's the COT or the old car, on this track at Talladega Superspeedway, you have to have a dragster car.
You absolutely do, and you're here, guys, making deals right now for the next 50 laps, trying to put themselves in position. And then with 10 to go, you're on your own. So right now there's deal making going on all up on top of that roof of those spotters, and everyone they're talking, trying to position these cars so they can have a shootout with 10 to go.
And speaking of those partners, the 16, the 17, making it work.
How much longer you want to keep doing this? You got a plan what you're thinking about doing? No, everyone was wanting to go right now, but I think one more fuel run here before we go. What I think we should try is everybody stay on the white, on the yellow line with their lefts. Not wavers. Stay bumper to bumper on the yellow line and try and go to the front. And who cares if people drop down in front of you or whatever? Just even down the straightaway on the yellow line. Don't let nobody side draft you. Don't let the center. They won't be able to come up the middle because we won't be cleared out of the yellow. And just see if we got enough speed to try and get up through there.
Team strategy and discussions. Greg Biffle, right of your screen in the 16 car. Matt Kenseth with his teammate, the 6 car, David Reagan, right behind him.
We can tell right now that Matt Kenseth, he just getting a little tired of this. How much longer I got to play around back here and just kind of be part throttle and that's around? It looks like Greg Biffle's is they got lead and everything. Hey, let's just wait a little bit. Let's wait for another pit stop. Andy, I don't think I've ever heard this much team talk going on about what we're going to do and not go.
Now, this is kind of interesting to hear these guys talking like that because they've got a strategy now to get to the end of the race and try to get these Fords up front.
Well, you see, Matt Kenseth, he's just getting a little bit impatient right now playing this strategy. He wants to get it done.
Watch the 5 car being, how about being aggressive? Watch the 5 car of Kyle Busch and the 12 of Ryan Newman here. Now watch Newman's head in the windshield. Look right into that 12 car. He gets bumped.
Wow. You can see getting whiplash bump right there. That was a pretty good shot.
That's a great shot right there. I mean, his head went straight back into the headrest of that car. And folks, that's how violent this bump drafting can be. And if that happens in the center of the corner, you got a big problem. You can turn this car clear around
those guys sailing by Kevin Harvick. They were 3 wide, 4 wide versus second.
All right, here we go now. These guys are trying to get wound back up again. 3 wide, sometimes 4 wide. You see him coming through the center of this pack right now. They're all getting impatient. 57 laps to go.
At the beginning of our telecast, you heard Alan Bestwick talk about it's a ticking time bomb at Talladega. Typically, after the 120-lap mark, it starts to get crazy. That's when you start wondering and worrying even more about the big one. There are 3 lines now, nose to tail in the draft at 196, actually 197 miles per hour.
And right now, you heard him say, can I go now? When can I go? It's like they're just waiting to be turned loose by their partners, their crew chiefs, their team owner. And like I said earlier, I haven't heard much of this in the past, but today they're so worried about the car tomorrow being easy out there.
There's got to be so many guys out here wondering, how am I going to get in front? And the only way to know is to get out here and mix it up with these guys and try to figure out, who do I need to run with? What line do I need to be in? And you can't do that just in the right single file. They got to get out here and race.
Well, one guy I don't think is going to play around much longer is 55 car Michael Waltrip. He's got a good car. He's got something to prove. He's had some bad luck. He wants to win this race bad, so I expect him to really get it on.
Getting shuffled a little bit right here, trying to make this inside lane work. He's been working that bottom line of the racetrack, trying to make it work.
Michael Waltrip, it has been 144 races since his last win that came here at this racetrack in September of 2003. He was the pole sitter, driving that Toyota there in the middle. 27 car, Jacques Villeneuve has had some contact with the wall.
Looks like he's got the right front fender bent in.
Just ran against the wall. I don't know. I don't smell any.
Might need to get that car in against the right side. Here goes Tony Stewart.
Tony Stewart goes back to the front. Bobby Labonte behind him in the 43. Juan Pablo Montoya lines up right in front of Reed Sorensen. So a Dodge parade behind Stewart.
And take a look at Reed Sorensen again. This kid's been solid all day long, not making any mistakes. Been one of the fastest guys in the Ganassi camp with Felix Sabatas. See him hooked up with his teammate, Juan Pablo up top.
How about Johnny Sauter? Give a call to Johnny. He had that great run at Richmond on the 3/4-mile short track with a top 5 finish. He's leading that draft with Elliott Sadler and Denny Hamlin right behind him in the middle group.
Well, right now you see 43, the world's best drivers out there, and you got to include Johnny Sauter involved in that because of what he's done in the past. And he's looking great right now again.
Gets a good little jump right there. This center line looks like it's organized pretty well. We got Dale Earnhardt Jr. in that center lane.
A lot of times when you're in the center lane, the aerodynamics can't attach to the rear spoiler as good and let you run faster. The air actually can't attach. Makes the air dam in the rear spoiler, which in this case is the rear wing, a little less effective. Makes you go faster in the straightaway.
Uh-oh, got a little bump grafted in the corner right here. And I'm sure this is just a chain reaction deal. You saw the guys going down the straightaway, wiggling back and forth, and that was because they were actually touching and wiggling, moving the back of the car in front of them.
And this is where hand signals is very, very important. They're so tight right now. They want to use their hand signals, but the driver behind, like we talked earlier, can't really see them that good. This closing rate is something they've really got to be careful with right now.
Moving on, 50 laps to go. Tony Stewart now getting passed or almost getting passed by his teammate. They are 3 wide. There were 10 cars in the outside lane, 9 in the middle, and 8 in the inside.
Wow, I think Johnny Sauter put it really close on Tony Stewart.
Well, they're all really close right now. There's just not much room for error at the moment. This is a time we've seen them all day long. And now you see the last car, Joe Nemechek on the bottom. He's just dying to get out of the way right now.
Riding along with Denny Hamlin, bump drafting the 19 of Elliott Sadler, trying to push him by. And the 8 car showing smoke, the engine. The engine woes have bitten the 3rd car. Today it is the 8 car of Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Another DEI Richard Childress engine.
In the middle, still got cars inside and outside there.
Caution is out here. They're just going to have to clean this mess up, make sure there's nothing on the racetrack.
It's 3 of the big Chevrolet teams today with the same engine partnership having problems. This has got to be killing Richard Childress right now.
Dale Earnhardt Jr., the 3rd of the 7 cars that have the same engine combination. We're told, is there some potential damage on the 24 car from when everyone was trying to whoa up behind that 8 car with the engine problem? I'll show you what happened to Dale Earnhardt Jr. a moment ago, right right side of your screen.
And look at that, a real compacted draft, really tight in the draft. Engines are really singing right now. Big RPMs in this tight draft.
Boy, when this happens, that motor just stops running, and now these guys have to find somewhere to go.
And look at Michael Waltrip. He's totally blind, and he finally gets some vision and gets around the outside of Dale Jr. Let's take a look from the onboard of Michael Waltrip and what it looks like.
That air just buffing it around there. That smoke comes.
Motor, just hold what you got. Keep coming, keep coming. Cautious out, cautious out, cautious out.
It was the 44 car that got the damage, not the 24. Spotters were saying there's damage on a car, and here it is, Dale Jarrett, who was just trying to ride back there and stay out of trouble to be able to make his move with this Toyota, which has been very strong, biding his time, and it just it wasn't meant to be.
And he was doing a great job doing that. He was 20th when I last glanced at Dale Jr. or Dale Jarrett, staying out of the way right there, riding along, doing what he had to do. Gets caught up in his misfortune here.
6 DNF due to engine problems for Dale Earnhardt Jr. in 2007. 4th in the last 11 races, and that kind of problem is what the reason he's not in the chase, because otherwise he's run very, very well.
And this one is a heartbreaker for that team, because this was one race that they felt so confident coming in, and to have that engine problem, I know it's got to be really disheartening.
Yeah, last race for Tony Eury Jr. at this track with the DEI team. Now he's moving over to Hendrick. And you got to feel bad for Dale Jr. because you hit it on the head. If he wouldn't have these engine problems, he'd have been in the chase for the championship. He might even be leading the points right now, because every time I look at that car, he's in the top 5.
Dale Jarrett, who has won twice here, hoping to get a chance to maybe go to victory lane today. His day comes up short. Here come the Budweiser guys. Now they know they're losing their leader after today, Tony Eury Jr. You just mentioned the cousin and crew chief, longtime cousin of crew chief, should say, for Dale Earnhardt Jr. going over to Hendrick Motorsports after this weekend. Blown engines today. There are the laps. Jeff Burton, the first victim. Martin Truex, and led the latest, of course, Dale Earnhardt Jr. And still 4 more cars on the track with the same engine package. That's Harvick, Boyer, Menard, and Eric Almirola. Dale out of the car, surveying the damage, trying to catch his breath after hanging on for 137 laps. The pits will be open here. We are 51 laps away from the checkered flag. Pit stops become the business on pit road. Here's Dave.
And the Casey Kane car having a great run today. Casey said something happened good last week at Kansas. It's happening good this week too at Talladega. 2 right sides is all, Jamie.
And Brian Vickers pulls into his pit box. They just yelled last command was fuel only. They're not taking tires on this 83. He said it's a great car. You see him, they're going to push him off because of the transmission issues. Let's go to Allen.
Bottom left frame, Elliott Sadler, fuel only on the 19 car. Sending him out, telling him to watch his outside, and clears the cars around him.
Race off of pit road. Johnny Sauter gains a spot. Will lead there. Elliott Sadler up 3. You see Bobby Labonte up 5 positions. Great job by the 43 crew for the King Richard Petty. And of course the loser there, Dave Blaney, back 3 spots. Under caution, you're watching ESPN on ABC. Back at Talladega Superspeedway under caution for the 5th time today. The engine of the 8 car, Earnhardt Jr. erupting. Debris involved the 44 car of Dale Jarrett. Now, the draft here, very critical. It can help you, it can hurt you. It's all about the politics of the draft and how you use the air and the cars around you, as our draft tracks will show.
Take a look at the 19 car of Elliott Sadler behind the 70 car of Johnny Sauter. Sadler's going to get close to him, and when he gets up there, you're going to see these cars go complete in the draft lock, run exactly the same speed, and man, the speed they pick up, there it goes, complete draft lock. And folks, take a look at this as they're going down the front straightaway, completely locked up together right now, running the same speed, really picking up a lot of RPM. And look how it takes Johnny Sauter and just shoves him right into the lead, passing the 83 car Vickers on the inside, and that was a lot of momentum right there.
Every time you see these cars get in that draft lock, when it turns white, they take off, and you see the other cars around them. None of those guys were that close together. As soon as you get, nose to tail, it is a huge advantage.
In other broadcasts, you always hear talk about aero loose and talk about aero push, all that stuff. But here, none of that's really coming into effect. It's all about getting locked up in the draft and picking maximum RPM and speed up.
Pace car pulling off. Johnny Sauter. You saw the pit work a moment ago. Sauter will lead him down. It's Sadler, Tony Stewart, Casey Kane, and Ryan Newman, the top 5. 49 laps to go at Talladega. Over 150,000 die-hard stock car fans on their feet. 24 car, Jeff Gordon coming down pit road.
This is very unexpected right here. He's going to lose. He's going to absolutely lose the draft and probably lose a lap. It's a penalty, a pit road penalty, because they were moving equipment.
We're going to get yellow. Watch speed. Watch speed.
That was sort of a penalty from NASCAR for removing equipment from the pit stall.
And he's trying to pump up his driver now. Right now, you heard him talking. We're going to get a caution. Don't speed down pit road. Don't get us another one. So Jeff Gordon right now is on a hot seat.
Tony Stewart shuffling toward the front now. He takes the lead, pulls down right in front of the 9 car of Casey Kane. There's Juan Pablo Montoya behind Kane. Then comes Sauter.
Man, I have been impressed with that Juan Pablo Montoya, man. He has been making aggressive moves. He's got a great race car. And now he's hooked up with one of his other Dodge teammates there with Elliott Sadler.
And
I'm sorry, Casey Kane in the 9.
You say Casey Kane in the 9 and Montoya. The Dodge engines have been really good today. We talk about this car tomorrow. But Montoya, he's got enough experience right now, Andy. He gets Talladega. He understands how to run this track.
Let's show you what happened with Jeff Gordon. Now, he was serving a pass-through penalty at 55 miles an hour. Now, watch as Jimmy pulls out. Watch the hose there.
See, that hose looks like it hooks the rear bumper, and the air wrench, it pulls the air wrench completely out of the pit box. And NASCAR imposed a penalty on these guys. See here, the tire changer's finished. He's holding his air hose, and he gets hung right there in that wheel opening. Man, that's a tough break for those guys.
Oh, man, that air wrench about 3 foot out of the pit box. But, hey, there's no tolerance in NASCAR. You know, if you're out of the box, you're out of the box. And that's one thing I can tell about them. They're consistent in their calls. They really are. But, boy, that's hard to take. Really hard to take.
46 laps to go, and the latest heartbreak in terms of engine troubles was Dale Earnhardt Jr., who's standing by with Dave Burns.
And with Dale Earnhardt Jr. now, who is managing a smile. I know it must be tough, though, because this is a place you could win.
Ain't that bad, you know. I mean, if this is the worst thing that could happen. I mean, we had a good day, and we're all in one piece. And, you know, we've had a string of motor failures today with 31 into 1. But, you know, they built good stuff. We tested out here. We all worked really hard together and tried to bring a good package. I'm just really, really proud of all that effort and how our car ran today. And proud of my team. We had a good car. We led some. We got the people on their feet. And I was hoping to win it. I thought I could win it. So, you know, you got to be around team. We just had some tough luck. But I'm a little, you know, more concerned. I feel really, really bad for Martin because they got a great team to win this championship. And that hurt worse actually seeing his motor break, but we'll be all right.
Now talk about the day, Junior, just in terms of racing that car on this track. Looked like you had a handle on it.
Yeah, what y'all think? You know, right?
Good show.
Really? I don't know what you're watching. All that around the top, ain't that boring?
Well, single file, but you were just starting to mix it up. What were you finding as far as Dyson with the other cars?
To the lead so we could all run at the top single file. That's all we're trying to do. I don't think it's where it needs to be right now. There's obviously probably another way to get the package to do better. It's not necessarily the COT itself, just the combination of the wicker and the plate probably, just getting the right combination. And, you know, they didn't have any prior idea of how this is going to go. So, you know, we got to take it easy on NASCAR, can't be hard on them, but it was really, really boring riding up there. First, second, fourth, whatever. He just had nothing going on, you know, and just be sitting here doing nothing for no reason just didn't make any sense to me. But I liked it when we were battling and racing, and that's why when we got in the back, we kept trying to go to the bottom to get to the front.
Oh, trouble on the racetrack, trouble way up high, and we now have the big one here with 44 laps to go, the 5 car involved. McMurray is there, Rudeman is involved.
A lot of torque race cars here.
Chase contender Kyle Busch, he's in major damage on the number 5 Chevrolet in his car. Jamie McMurray with the front end knocked out. He's going good. He's window that's still up in the car. He's okay. A lot of damage.
15, Paul Menard involved. Another one of the DEI cars. 00, you see getting it righted there. That is David Rudeman. He is involved. There's the 0-0 of Rudeman at that great qualifying run. Best career start in a Cup car this weekend. Heavily damaged, trying to limp back to pit road.
You just wondered when this was going to start to happen. You're starting to get a little anxious out there. Laps are winding down. 43 laps to go. We're talking about maybe running close to 40 laps on fuel. These guys might come down pit road again now, another splash of gas, and try to make it on fuel.
Let's show you what happened. Watch the 43 car. Watch the 12 in front of the 43 of Bobby Labonte.
Looks like Bobby Labonte just lost the car up against the wall.
Yeah, Bobby really didn't have anybody around him. It looks like they just maybe a possibility a right front tire went down, or the car just got flat out from underneath him and got loose. It just took off.
As much grip as these cars have, as good as they handle, I can't believe that you just have, actually lose the car like that without having some kind of a problem.
Car just abruptly turned left. It came all the way down and got Kyle Busch. That chain reaction then gets Robbie Gordon and then several others.
And Matt Kenseth's got a big piece of that. Got his car tore up, got the right front corner damage, and Matt Kenseth's car from this last accident. So we got two chase contenders tore up right now because of this latest incident.
Oh, Bobby just turned around on it. I don't really get why that happened like that.
Yeah, that was really peculiar.
20 car in, Tony Stewart topping off.
These guys are setting up now for the last run.
Others coming on, 43 laps to go. Let's go down to Mike.
And guys, we're trying to catch up with Brian Vickers right now. He's sitting inside his car. Team's still going to work. And Kurt Busch on pit road going to service as we're covering the garage right now, guys, just trying to gather some of these victims.
And Denny Hamlin got some damage in the accident. You're looking at the left side of the car. The right rear corner of this 11 machine has been torn apart in this accident. They've changed the tires. Now you see the crew going back around to the right side to try and fix the damage. One of the championship chasers came on the radio right after the wreck and said, "We're in it, we're in it. Gosh, we're in it."
Another driver having engine troubles in that same field, the 29 car. Mike?
And Doc, I spoke with engine tuner Ron Liddell for the 29 car a little bit earlier. He told me there were no concerns until the 8 blew up. When that happened, he walked down off the pit box, tapped me on the shoulder and said, "Now I'm worried." You can see why. The 29 car having some problems. They may have lost a cylinder.
So now 4 of the 7 cars are having trouble. Make it 5 with Paul Menard, who did not have an engine trouble. He was involved in the big one. 8 cars involved in contact lap 145. Heavy damage here at Talladega.
I'm Stan Verrett, and this is the SportsCenter Minute powered by Vizio. The Boston Red Sox are trying to complete a sweep of the Angels in their American League Division Series. And Boston leads right now 2-0 in the 5th inning on back-to-back home runs from David Ortiz and Manny Ramirez. In football, the New England Patriots are 5-0. They beat the Browns 34-17. New England's the first team in NFL history to win its first 5 games by at least 17 points. After getting 12 sacks last week, the Giants defense had 3 interceptions today, and Eli Manning had a pair of touchdown passes, and the Giants beat the Jets 35-24. Yankees owner George Steinbrenner tells the Bergen Record he won't have manager Joe Torre back if the Yankees don't win their playoff series against the Indians. Yankees will try to avoid the sweep tonight at home. I'm Stan Verrett, and that's the SportsCenter Minute.
Thank you very much. Back at Talladega, we have had all kinds of activity here. And, of course, the big one, 10 cars involved in an incident on lap 145. You see there are the cars that are involved in the crash. Vickers, who got in the back of it. Bobby Labonte's car spun abruptly. McMurray, Kenseth, the chaser, involved. Kyle Busch, also one of the chasers involved. Show you again. Now watch the 43 car just turn abruptly left.
Looks like Bobby just gets up so high that maybe he just got up in the trash, lost the car.
2 things I saw there. Looks like he's deaccelerating a little bit. Just a little bit out of the throttle, a little bit abruptly, but had the right rear quarter panel dead up against the wall and maybe got into some of the dirty portion of the track.
Our good hands are moving. The race goes to Michael Waltrip in the 55 car. On behalf of Michael Allstate will donate $1,000 to the Urban and Youth Racing School. Back to Talladega after these messages and a word from our ABC stations. Back at Talladega, Our Dave Burns is caught up with Bobby Labonte in the garage.
And Bobby Labonte climbed out from his car right near pit road, just turned in there. It was the turn on the track that looked like a complete surprise.
Yeah, well, it surprised me, that's for sure. And I looked at the right rear tire ends up, left rear tire's up, so I'm not really sure what happened. I mean, you don't fight a problem like that, and all of a sudden just went down the corner, and I mean, the rear end just went out from under it. So I'm not sure. My fault, I know, but I don't know how it happened.
Did you feel anything in the steering, anything?
No, that's what's so weird. I mean, you got me, so with the grip level and the way the cars are, you don't have that. And for some reason or another, it just took off, slid out.
And you had a great run going.
As keyword was.
He's okay, guys, but obviously very disappointed.
Thank you, Dave. Bobby did have an outstanding run for the 43 car for Petty Enterprises. Speaking of great runs, Tony Raines in the 96 car has been good all year long, not being retained in this car in 2008. And he is looking for a ride, trying to make a statement today. Well, they shuffle it all the way to the bottom of the racetrack in turn 2, and Tony Stewart now making a move.
And he went all the way down the apron in the corner, 4 wide off turn 2.
Right now, 38 laps to go. Somebody wants to get in the front and see if they can hold on to it. Ryan Newman and Kurt Busch, the 2 Penske guys, hooked up.
And these Dodges get going on the restart. Got 3 of them up here at the head of the line.
And now when you get 3 Dodges hooked up because they've been making the best power along with Toyota.
Here comes 2 more Dodges, the 42 and the 41 on the outside of Tony Stewart.
Way up across the top of the racetrack, the Toyota, that's the 22 of Dave Blaney. And the 27, we're being told, is Villeneuve. He's being black flagged for no radio communications.
That's a safety issue. These guys have to have radio contact with their spotters. NASCAR requires that.
These guys should be able to go to the end on fuel right now, and estimate between 36 to 40 laps on fuel. They think they can run 40 laps, but this is definitely coming down to a fuel mileage race right now. They're going to have to be a little careful with their fuel.
4 Dodges up high, and on the inside lane is the Dodge, the 9 of Casey Kane. How about the 2 Penske cars? Roger Penske has never won a restrictor plate race. How about that? For all the success he's had over the years, all the great races you won for him, Rusty, but never at Daytona or Talladega.
Well, we come close many times, Jerry, but never could seem to get it done. A lot of second place finishes, and Roger's in attendance today watching his car, so he loved getting victory lane with at least one of these guys.
Casey Kane on the inside trying to run door to door with Tony Stewart. Stewart's got a lot of drafting help. J.J. Yaley, his teammate behind him, trying to push Stewart to the lead.
You see that center lane really taking off right now. Stewart with help from J.J. And he's going to get up in front of the Toyota car, Ryan Newman. He doesn't care about teammates right now. He wants to lead.
Kind of left his wingman down there with the 18 car, J.J. Yaley. And you see how much it hurt the 18. He's losing ground now.
Tony Stewart leads on the racetrack. Meanwhile, back in the garage area, Mike Massaro was caught up with Kyle Busch.
Chase got off to a very good start for Kyle Busch with 2 consecutive top 5s, but the last 2 races seems like things have gone a little bit sour. What happened there?
And just a product of the restrictor plate race and everybody being bunched up in the back. I guess Bobby lost the tire or something like that. So nothing of his doing. Just came right across the racetrack, and we were the first one that hit him. And it's a shame not only for us and the Kellogg's Carco Chevrolet, but everybody, all the other guys that got involved in the wreck as well too. And unfortunate for our chase chances, but. We knew that Talladega was going to be our mulligan. We circled it on the calendar that this was the one we're going to wreck in, because every time we come here, it seems as though if there's going to be a wreck, we're right in the middle of it. So, we were hoping that last week didn't happen, but it did. Now this week again. So we'll just go on to Charlotte and run somewhere where we don't run too good. Try to run well there in Martinsville and just keep going. I mean, that's all you can do.
You call it a mulligan. That would seem to me that you think that you can pretty much put this one behind you. How much optimism do you have with 6 races to go that you can pull yourself back into this thing?
Not very much. The team, of course, they want to be optimistic and they want me to be optimistic, but I'm sorry. I mean, it's the realisticness of everything, the realism that sets in, that you try to realize that you're so far back that it's going to take a lot to get back in this deal, and you've got great racers like Jeff Gordon and Jimmy Johnson who are up front, and Tony Stewart, who haven't had much bad luck yet here in this deal.
Guys, you can hear the disappointment in Kyle Busch's voice.
A big blow in the chase and a big blow on the racetrack here for Kenny Schrader, who won his very first race here at Talladega back in July of '88. Schrader was having a good run today in the Wood Brothers JTG car number 21. Gets out and waves at the crowd, and here's the reason for caution number 7.
Kenny Schrader, exact same thing. Looks like happened to Bobby Labonte, happens to Kenny Schrader. He just gets sideways at about the same spot on the racetrack.
Yeah, it's very peculiar, Andy. I mean, I don't know why these guys are getting so loose going on at the entry of turn 3. They start going up at the turn 3 in the middle, and they lose it.
Makes me wonder if there's some oil up there from maybe one of these other engine failures.
Oil on the racetrack, contact, under caution for the 7th time today. You're watching ESPN on ABC. Back at Talladega Super Speedway, stop number 4 of 10 in the 2007 chase for the NASCAR Nextel Cup. Last year's Cup champion, the 48 car Jimmy Johnson, back on pit road under this caution flag. 4 tires, getting that tank full of fuel. As we head down to our pit studio in Susie Culber for our FedEx race rundown.
And Doc, like the first 3 races in the chase, there's been big trouble for these chase drivers, and it started with Jeff Burton.
You know what, Susie, I mentioned this earlier in the race. These guys turning 8,600 RPM all day long. These things wound tight. Thought there might be some motor issues. You heard our Andy Petrie said very well could be, starting with Jeff Burton.
And he told us he believes his title hopes could be over. Martin Truex Jr., another blown engine.
We mentioned the concerns with DEI engines, the RCR cohabitation of engines, the problems they've had, and lo and behold, Martin Truex blows the motor next. So we're seeing a pattern here.
And if it's not a blown engine, now this is uncharacteristic for Jeff Gordon, who came in seated 2nd, penalized on pit road.
That is an uncharacteristic mistake, just like you said. Jeff Gordon's won multiple championships because they don't make these type of mistakes. That could have just cost them.
And it was just a matter of when for the big one, just 43 laps to go, 10 cars involved.
Really shows it's the impatience or the mistakes of the drivers. I thought these cars were so stable because they're so big and wide that we possibly wouldn't have that big one, but we did.
Chase drivers Kyle Busch, Matt Kenseth, both knocked out on that one. So who will be left standing? Well, Tony Stewart came in seated 4th. He's leading, Doc. He's been the bridesmaid here 6 times.
Susie, the 20 car of Tony Stewart. By the way, all of the Hendrick cars and Gibbs cars are running the old SB2 engine configuration. The DEI RCR combination, that was the R07 engine for those 7 cars. And obviously they've had some issues here. But neither of the Gibbs cars or the Hendrick cars are in the new engine. They've got the old SB2. As you see Tony Stewart leading here and getting set for the restart.
The guy that needs to be most concerned would be Clint Boyer in the 07. He's showing 2nd right now in the points as they run.
Brad?
Absolutely. Andy and I spent about an hour with Tony Stewart on Friday. He said he did not absolutely want to be anywhere near the lead with the final laps waning. Andy, watching this, he's out front. Do you think he's going to back up? How's he going to get back behind so he can get a run?
I'm not sure, Brad, that he may have changed his tune a little bit. He's been playing with this all day long, and looks like his car's pretty strong when he's got somebody tucked up behind him, just like this 12 car right here. So maybe he changed his mind a little bit, Brad.
Let's listen into some radio communication about between the 12 and the 2.
Sorry, you got me. 10-4, dude. Sorry about the confusion there. I thought you wanted to go the high side, just kind of stuck up there. That's why I was moving up there. Sorry, you had to switch blocks, but pretty good job there. Our competition here is 20 car. I think you know that, eh? Yeah, 10-4. I mean, I'm not sure where you're supposed to go when you first have a restart. Once it singles out a little bit, the top groove is good, but all hell's breaking loose now. I'll just stick with you, man.
These 2 teammates figuring it out right here.
When you talk about a fellow that's rebounded right now, Jeff Gordon, the 24 car. Saw his crew chief say, hey, hang with us, we're going to get a caution. They did get a caution now, and Jeff Gordon's in 9th right now. Just moved up to 9th position. 31 laps to go. He's got to get it done now, guys. It's time to fire these babies up and hold them wide open.
Jeff Gordon having to rebound for a pass-through penalty because of the equipment that came out of the pit box. Look, you're talking about rebounding back and now showing back in the top 10.
I don't think we've seen the 24 or the 48 car show what they've got today. I think they've been hanging around the back. We saw the 24 get just a little bit of a penalty, but we got 31 laps to go. I think you're going to see what they've got right here.
I totally agree with that. You see Newman up there in 2nd position along with Kurt Busch. We haven't seen the Penske cars all day long. They've been just kind of hanging out, and now they're up there in the top 5. But one guy's been locked in there all day long is Montoya.
Lots of concerns over the engine situation for the RCR DEI cars. More with Mike.
And Doc, we're catching up with Ron Lydell, who is the engine tuner for the 29 car. You guys have a problem brewing right now. What's going on with Kevin's car?
Looks like it's in the valve train. It's holding together right now and running. It's down in the cylinder, and he's just kind of trying to nurse it around.
It seems like what's going on with your car is symptomatic of a bigger problem. Can you give us any insight as to what's going on with all these motor failures in the Chevy camp?
I really haven't heard what's going on with the other. They come out so quickly, they probably come out the bottom end. As far as ours, it doesn't seem like it's the same problem, but it's holding together for right now.
Guys, another problem brewing. The 01 radioing in not too long ago saying they've got some problems too.
A lot of concern. Clint Boyer, the 01 back in the garage, the 07 and 29 still on the racetrack. Both of those drivers are in the chase. What's the concern? What's going on down in the Clint Boyer pit? Jamie?
Well, Clint Boyer has been on pins and needles from the beginning, hearing news about his teammate. I just asked his crew chief, Gil Martin, what are your thoughts right now? He said, I'm about to throw up. But you guys, as far as problems, nothing right now for Clint Boyer. He's running strong in 13th.
These guys are just holding their breath right now. Just hoping this thing's steady together.
And never in the past would you see the engines built so closely together, but right now they're all built on computers and a lot of trick machinery that puts them together identical. And so when they machine these pieces of parts, when one goes, they got to be worried about the next. You didn't see that in the older days.
And again, the concern here because they have a gear rule, and these engines are turning anywhere between 8,600 and 8,900 RPMs, a lot more than they've ever turned here consistently at Talladega. 28 laps ago, Tony Stewart has never won at Talladega Super Speedway. He's finished second 6 times. Can he hang on? Welcome back to Talladega Super Speedway. Hard contact for Kyle Petty in the 45 car. Contact with the driver's side of his Dodge to bring out caution number 8 here on lap 162. Here's what happened to Kyle.
So you just come to your picture right side of your screen. He loses a left rear tire, goes down on the apron, and the car just shoots straight back up across the racetrack.
Oh, and look at that impact. You saw the soft wall actually move back. And Kyle's got one of the carbon fiber seats, one of the very, very safe seats in NASCAR now, plus the soft wall. And this really helps that blow that much better.
Watch the impact now as the car up across the track, probably still over 175 miles an hour, sliding backwards.
Right here's where that softball really does its job. You see it deflect and take a lot of that force out of this impact.
It looks like that wall moved about 6 or 8 inches at least, Andy, maybe close to a foot. Really helps it.
The car tomorrow 4 inches wider, so you can get the front driver more toward the middle. Now some of the chasers on pit road, Denny Hamlin, the 99 of Carl Edwards also in. Carl Edwards getting a pit stop. Here's the 11 car, Denny Hamlin. Damage on the right rear from an earlier incident.
Yeah, needed to come in and fix that right rear corner. It had broken loose from the repairs that they made earlier, and so they have to come in and patch that up and keep that from flapping in the wind. They may also have been asked by NASCAR to fix that. I have to double check on that, though. I'm not positive about that, but needed to patch up the right rear corner on this 11 car.
45 car to window net is down, and they have talking to Kyle Petty. He's been there talking to the safety crews. That certainly is good given that hard impact into the wall here to bring out caution for the 8th time today. We'll update you on Kyle after we take a break. A hard impact at Talladega. The cars of tomorrow have crush zones and energy-absorbing walls to help minimize injury to driver. Back after these messages and a word from our ABC stations. Back at Talladega Super Speedway, aerial coverage brought to you courtesy of our good friends at Goodyear, the official tire of NASCAR, helping NASCAR drivers get to the finish line for over 50 years. Now we are under caution for the 8th time, a very hard impact on lap 162 by Kyle Petty in his Dodge. Driver's side first, window net down. Kyle did climb out of the car. Has gone down to the infield care center where Dave has caught up with him.
Yeah, walked away under his own power, thankfully. That was a pretty good hit. What happened? Did you run over something out there?
No. I don't think so. They kept the racetrack really clean. I can't say that. We've had a few issues with balance. Our tires have been out of balance. We had a couple of sets that were out of balance, and that set vibrated pretty good. And then I don't know if one was coming apart or something like that. I don't know what the problem was, but just came apart going into turn 3. And I got to apologize to Dale Jarrett. Just like I told Glenn just then, I just ran all over him. I couldn't see through his back glass, and when the 8 car blew up, I tapped him in the middle of the straightaway. You know, like he said, well, Dale said the same thing, that, you know, you probably couldn't see through it. And I said, yeah, but I'm 47 years old. I should be smarter than that. That's just, it's just dumb driving on my part. I'll say that. I hate it took him out because he had a good run and he had a good car.
Doc, there's that vision thing again with these cars.
We told you the debut of the car tomorrow here at Talladega. Now the 07 on pit road, Andy.
Looks like they're just going to get a little gas and get left side tires. Looks like they're messing with the tape maybe on the front of the car. They've had a little bit of contact right there. They're taping up the front bumper.
Well, let's update a little more on safety by looking at our Chevy cutaway car and Tim Brewer.
Thanks, Jerry. As well as the driver just staying inside the confines of the seat, the safety deposit there on the side of the roll cage is foam. Absorbs a lot of energy. Safety wall's done a great job, but still yet, this stuff imposed by NASCAR does a great job to let the driver walk away from the wreck. Jerry?
Tim, that foam not only inside the door panels of the new car tomorrow, which is 4 inches wider, which helps absorb energy. Watch the soft wall. Watch the wall give actually with the energy and absorb energy right there.
Boy, that wall really jumped back out of the way, and I completely forgot about the energy absorbing foam in the driver's side door and the other side. That really, so the wall helped, the foam helped, and the seat helped.
And you can see Kyle Petty just as fresh as a daisy getting out of the car. Seems to be just fine.
And thank gosh these drivers can hit these walls like this and walk away like Kyle did. He looked like he wasn't even phased.
For more information on door foam, log on to ESPN.com, search word Autotech. That's the whole reason for the car tomorrow, be able to add those crush zones, be able to get the cars 4 inches wider and put those drivers closer to the middle of the car to provide more of a safety barrier for them inside the race car.
The one thing I want to get to, Doc, the splitter on the front of the car sticks out about 2 inches in front of the bumper. NASCAR says if they come down to a photo finish, it's going to be judged off the front bumper, not the splitter.
Tony Stewart will lead him down. It'll be 22 laps to go when they cross the start-finish line. And folks, the top 8 drivers have never won at Talladega, Stewart included. And one of those top 8 is Mike Wallace driving the 88 car.
Robert Yates put him in the 88 car. He feels like Mike is one of the best restrictor plate drivers in the country.
He is one of the best restrictor plate racers. He's driven for me, and I'll tell you, he can get it done when it comes time here.
It is only Mike's second Cup start this year, folks. He ran the Daytona 500 and finished 4th all the way from 22nd starting spot, and he is running currently in 6th position.
When you take a look at the 48 car, Jimmy Johnson at the bottom of the racetrack, they are out of time right now with 22 laps to go, and it's time to get to the front. And he is doing that. But take a look at Michael Waltrip. He made a dicey move there with a 19 car, a Sadler. These guys are starting to crank it up now.
Sadler just squeezed his way up in that outside lane. Looked like Michael had to get out of the throttle just a little bit.
Well, earlier today, we saw Michael Waltrip go to the bottom lane and work himself all the way up to the front. He was the one leading that train. He's doing it again now.
One Chevrolet followed by 4 hungry Dodges. That's 1st through 5th. Stewart the lone Chevy, Newman, Kurt Busch, Montoya, and Casey Kane in Dodges.
And you see Michael get back up in the top lane right there with the 48 now back on the bottom. They've got to make something happen here. They've got to get to the bottom. The top's not going to go anywhere.
So these guys up front are just locked in line up against that wall.
Yeah, if you're locked in line up against the wall, there's no room to pass in the top, that's for sure. So these guys know it. Look at Dave Blaney right now. He's getting down out of that top lane into the bottom. There he is in the Caterpillar car with Jimmy Johnson behind him. They're trying to make some tracks.
Dave Blaney getting back up there, becoming a factor in the 22 car. Blaney, who had the pit road speeding violation, whoa, up against the wall. One car goes up and rubs the concrete. That backpack is going to run him down, and they are running him down. Blaney leading him up there. There's the 22 car. Blaney pulling the fellow Toyota driver, Michael Waltrip, to catch this pack of 12 cars.
And he kind of hung out the 48 car of Jimmy Johnson. Jimmy was hooked up behind him. He just shot him, left Jimmy stopped on the bottom. I'm not sure this war's over between those two. I think Jimmy's got to stay put. Go for it.
Out the back of the 96 car, you see Jimmy Johnson in the 48. Now he's becoming a factor. This lead draft just doubled in size.
And right now, this race would end right now at 24. Jeff Gordon's got the lead in points by 12 points over teammate Jimmy Johnson.
Michael Waltrip hung out to dry on the inside of the racetrack, got down out of the draft, and they're going sailing right by.
He was just trying to get something going here, trying to get maybe some people to go with him, pull out a line. Nobody went with him.
And you figured if anything was going to happen, Michael was going to be the one. He did it earlier, and it worked for him. Took a little taste of it this time, and they said, too early, pal. We're not going with you right now.
I don't think you're going to see anything happen really until you see these front guys start breaking apart. Then these back guys will catch right up and it'll get dicey.
Yeah, but Andy, if they're going to do it, they're going to have to do it with at least 10 to go, so they got enough time to get it done.
The 24 car of Jeff Gordon on the lead lap in 9th position. Remember, he is our points leader as of right now. You see the chase ticker at the top of your screen, and right above that, the race ticker telling you where your favorite drivers are running here as the laps are winding down. More on Jeff Gordon with Alan.
Jeff Gordon has run around at the back of this field all day long, Doc, including when they got that penalty for the equipment and crew member out of the box back at lap number 153. So now Gordon got a caution, got back up into the middle of the pack, and his team's thinking strategy from here on out.
Sammy said if you drop down there, he'll drop down there too. Yeah, it's going to be a while. I don't know. We just have to wait and see. If it shuffles, then we go. If it doesn't, we wait. Exactly. I think you're 100% on the money there. We need to be patient. I agree. We're going to try to stay right here. Sure. You know best, buddy.
Leave it in the driver's hands, and why not? He's had a lot of success here at this racetrack, a 5-time winner here. Jeff Gordon has played it cool all day. Will he be hot when it counts the most?
It's a gamble. It's when do you go and when don't you go. Jeff Gordon say right now he thinks it's a little too early. I mean, I can see if he went down by himself. They just closed that hole up. He'd go dead to the back of the pack. That'd be tough to get back up front.
Anybody knows Jeff Gordon knows how to do it here at Talladega. And he thinks it's a little bit early. He's probably going to wait just a little while. Hopefully he can get with his teammate, Jimmy Johnson, maybe Casey Mears. They get hooked up here at the end of the race.
We're talking about Juan Montoya again. Look at their 4th position hanging in with that Chip Ganassi, Felix Sabatis team. And what about Reed Sorensen again? 8th position. He's holding in tight. With strong cars.
Those top 8 drivers have never won at Talladega. Stewart's never won here. Ryan Newman, Kurt Busch, Montoya, Kane, Mike Wallace, Johnny Sauter, and Reed Sorensen. Those 8 guys have never been to victory lane at Talladega, and it could be among any of those guys if it's a typical Talladega finish.
Here we got something going down on the bottom. We got the 22 car, Dave Blaney, and the 48 car, Jimmy Johnson. His teammate, Casey Mears, in the 25 car. Now they're making some tracks.
Hey guys, these guys are getting in what we call draft lock. They're getting really bumper to bumper. These 2 cars becoming one, and right now they're definitely the fastest on the racetrack. Jamie?
Well, with 16 laps to go, Chad NASCAR Chief Jimmy Johnson just came over the radio and said that 25 Casey Mears, your teammate, is coming. They drop down to the inside, as you see there, and they're looking to make a force to go forward to catch up with Jeff Gordon, as you heard Alan Bestwick mention. So watch these Hendrick cars, guys, try to get together and use teamwork to get to the front.
All right, you see the 70 come down now. Johnny Sauter, the last time by. Dave Blaney, 49.40 with his lap speed compared to 50.01 of the leader, so 0.6 of a second faster. And here comes Johnson up the middle.
And now the politics of the draft are really starting to come to the surface.
And you know, the politics, there's no politics. Now it's each guy for himself. Go for it. Get it done. 15 laps to go.
Jimmy Johnson getting help, as you heard Jamie say, from teammate Casey Mears back there. They hung the 70 car out to dry.
Now you see the 48 car, Jimmy Johnson, moved up in that outside lane. Got a little snip from those lead guys and pulled back down in front of Casey Mears. These guys got a little bit of run on these front guys.
For a little while, it looked like the 48 was going to hang his own teammate out. Thought better of that. Got back to the bottom. And look how they're hooked up in that bottom lane now. They're flat making some speed right now. I call that trucking. Those cats are trucking right now.
They can just get hooked up just like this right here. If they can just get bumper to bumper.
That's textbook, man. That's the way you got to do it.
Jimmy Johnson, Rusty, 0.3 of a second quicker a lap than is the leader, Tony Stewart, and he is coming in a hurry.
If they stay patient, stay hooked up, they're going to get to the front.
Look at Stewart go to the bottom.
Hey, Stewart knows it. That bottom's quick right now, and Tony, look at it, top to the bottom to the top.
Whoa, that move might have cost him right there. He went to the bottom and across the top, and he's got no help now. The 2 Penske cars will hook up and go by Tony Stewart.
This car's big, but it's not big enough to
pace car, Tony Raines involved.
And Michael Waltrip Center, after such a good run, pole sitter, involved in the accident also.
Lap 175, there's the damage on the 16 car. Last week's winner, Greg Biffle.
That's too bad for Michael. Man, he had a good car.
He had a great car. Take a look at Biffle. He's
tires, Mike? Yeah, I blew it right in front.
Biffle's hanging out in the back, trying to stay out of trouble. He gets himself involved in it.
Watch the contact here. Now, you heard Michael Waltrip say right front, watching her right up across the racetrack.
Just too bad he clipped Elliott Sadler in the process. When that tire went down, he just took off straight right. Poor Tony Raines, too, got caught up in this.
Hold her straight there. Hold her straight. Caution's out. Caution's out.
Elliott Sadler gets involved, so does Greg Biffle, who comes up and gets contact with Elliott Sadler. Caution for the 9th time today. Back at home.
ESPN's coverage of NASCAR Nextel Cup Series on ABC. Brought to you by the Ford F-150, built Ford tough, and Shell, made to move.
Back at Talladega, setting up for a typical Talladega finish. We are under caution for the 9th time. Right front tire. Michael Waltrip said he cut a right front. Watch the 55 go up and just get Elliott Sadler the 19. The 96 and the 16 are sucked into it as Sadler comes across, and he will come up and get the front end there of last week's winner, Greg Biffle.
You see that happen too. Michael had a great car. Been through a lot of bad luck this year. Really didn't deserve this one, but we heard the tire go down and up in the wall.
Despite all that contact, Elliott Sadler able to climb out of his car okay. Hard hits. Now let's go back and show you the Tony Stewart situation. He was trying to come across the bottom of the racetrack in front of one line of drafting cars and move back up. But watch the 20 car.
He sees Jimmy Johnson down there, tries to block him and get a little push. No, I'm going to go up here in front of the 12 car.
Man, there's no way, because the 2 car and the 12 car, they're a dead draft lock, and they just blow his doors off. Look how fast he went past him. That's what happened when you get that drafting going on. Draft lock speed.
Taking them right on by. You're watching ESPN on ABC. Back at Talladega Superspeedway, setting up for a typical Talladega shootout here in NASCAR Nextel Cup Series action. Ryan Newman, Kurt Busch, 1-2. Montoya back in 3rd. Pace car pulling back on the racetrack. Up in front of the field. They will take another lap under caution. We'll take a quick break and come back with the restart at Talladega in just a moment. Back at Talladega, pace car pulling away. It's going to be an 8-lap shootout here. Newman, Busch, 2 Penske drivers. Remember, Roger Penske has never won a restrictor plate race. Won Pablo Montoya. He finished 2nd at the Brickyard 400 for Ganassi and Sabatis. Jimmy Johnson back in 4th spot. Here they come to the green flag. 4 Dodges in the top 5. That's the 27 car that was being shown in 19th position. Jacques Villeneuve, despite contact with the wall and a black flag for radio problems, was still being shown on the lead lap in the top 20.
He's done a really good job today. Kept the car out of trouble.
Here comes Stewart.
And he's got to do it right now. With 8 laps to go, they got to get this second lane working right now. Dave?
Michael Waltrip stands by outside his Toyota that tried to win today. Michael, what happened in turn 1?
Just had a flat tire. Went in there and it went down on the interliner and started to turn, and it just blew the rest of the way out. Unfortunate, the Napa Best Western Claustrum Furniture Camry was good, and I was having a great time. It was fun to be up front again. It's a much better view up there.
He started up front, ended the day early, guys, but a great day for the 55.
Top 5 single file, but they are 3 wide, mixing it up in that second pack. 6 on back. Jeff Gordon is there. Jimmy Johnson, Jeff Gordon in front of Casey Mears, his teammate.
And they got to stay hooked bumper to bumper right now. Mike Wallace up in the wall, holds on to it, skims the right rear quarter panel up in the car, does
Kevin Harvick sailing by.
So right now, Stewart and Casey Mears back in what was the second pack, trying to get some speed, caught back up. These guys are lining back up single file. And if they stay there like that, nobody's going to pass anybody. Somebody's got to make a move here.
These three Dodges out front. These Dodge motors are really strong.
We talked earlier about how Ray Abraham was telling us that the power band of the Dodge engine really suits his RPM range. Dodge is running great today.
Folks, Dodge is due in 76 races here at Talladega. Dodge has only won 3 times. They won in 1969. Richard Brickhouse did it. Richard Petty won in 74. And Dave Marcus won in 76. And here comes the bottom line, though. Jimmy Johnson in the Chevy now, trying to move to the inside. And his teammates right behind him. There's Gordon, Mears, and, of course, Tony Stewart.
And you see the 2 teammates of Ryan Newman and Kurt Busch up top. Well, guess what? In the bottom lane, they got 3 teammates lined up. And 3 are generally better than 2. And they're getting hooked up at draft lock. Take a look at the 48 of Jimmy Johnson and all the Hendrick guys right to the front.
4 Dodges up high, 4 Chevrolets down low. And Jimmy Johnson gets pushed right by the 12 car of Newman to take the lead.
Newman and Busch got to figure what just happened right there, man. We were just leading the race. We just got shuffled.
The 25 is basically blocking a little bit right now for the 24. He's got to help his teammates out. He can't move. If he moves, he's going to go to the back of the pack. And then he's got to deal with Tony Stewart. And none of them want to deal with him right now.
They want to win a race, but they also want to win the chase for the Nextel Cup. Mears looking. Here's Tony Stewart looking to the inside. He shoves Mears up high. Stewart takes a spot away.
And now the game's getting ready to change right now. The top lane with the 12 and the 2 could get hooked back up, but Mears is out of it right now. Back to the bottom. And now they got to worry about the 20 now.
Mears just blinked. He looked to the outside just for 1 second. Tony Stewart took that shot.
Now Jeff Gordon right on the rear bumper. Gordon, who's hung at the back of the pack throughout the day to try to stay safe. Gordon there watching the 20 car.
Here comes Stewart on the outside.
Oh, this is not looking good right now. See the 12 and the 2 lining up behind Stewart. They got a lot of momentum on that top side. It's anybody's game right now.
Tony Stewart in the middle there doesn't have a lot of drafting help. Has tried to get back in line. Blaney won't let him. Edwards won't let him. Hamlin won't let him.
Here comes the Dodge surge on the top.
Newman, Busch, Montoya, 3 Dodges hooked up nose to tail. Trying to reel in the Chevy brigade on the left side.
Just about the time you thought you had the top lane clear, here comes the top lane back right now. And Jimmy Johnson and Gordon got to deal with the really strong Penske cars right now.
3 laps to go with this crowd of over 150,000 on their feet. Give a call to Tony Raines in that wreck a little while ago, still hanging on the 96 car. Great job for Tony Raines back there in the DLP Chevy.
Tony Stewart kind of gets shuffled up in the top lane behind Kurt Busch right now. This is the very first time for the COT cars, Andy. I mean, what are these drivers going to do, you know? I never drove one of these cars before, and this is the first time for these guys here. What type of move you want to make, I think, is a big question.
Well, it looks to me like Jimmy Johnson's got it, pretty much in hand, but you got to think that Jeff Gordon sitting back there, he's making his plans for the last lap here. 2 laps to go.
Right now with 48 car, Jimmy Johnson leading. On the last lap, he's going to have to throw his teammate away. He's just going to block these guys off. And heck with the relationship right now. When I see the white flag, it's game over, baby. I'm looking after myself right now.
When they tested here, they said we do not want to be the lead car in the draft because you're a sitting duck. Today, it's worked both ways. You've been able to stay there. You've been passed pretty easily. What are these guys going to do?
That last time by, you saw the 22 car, Dave Blaney, really give a good shove right in front of Jeff Gordon. Jeff Gordon has really got a good shove on Blaney that time, and that's what Gordon needed.
Jimmy Johnson doing a great job right here, using that draft to his advantage, watching that mirror, keeping that 24 car square in his bumper.
197 miles an hour. They take the white flag 3 wide. Here comes Tony Stewart up on the high side.
And the white flag is out. It's waving 3 wide.
Jimmy Johnson, Jeff Gordon trying to hang on the bottom, drafting help from behind with Blaney in the Toyota. Up high, Tony Stewart gets help from Casey
Wants 4 wide down the back straightaway. Hamlin on the inside.
Here comes Gordon on the outside.
Jeff Gordon has moved up in front of Tony Stewart to get the push by. Jeff Gordon, a 5-time Talladega winner. He knows how to get it done. He hung at the back of the pack all day long. He pulls up, and Tony Stewart pushes him by as they come down. Jeff Gordon trying to hang on. 2 wide, 3 wide behind him. Gordon on the bottom of the racetrack. Jimmy Johnson and Jeff Gordon takes the win at Talladega.
Unbelievable. The car tomorrow. Great race at the very end. Man, what a move out of Jeff Gordon. He just threw his teammate out, went for it by himself.
I knew he had something up his sleeve. I know what it was.
Steve Letarte said, stay calm.
Look at the emotion of Jeff Gordon in the car.
What a win for Jeff Gordon.
But you did it for us, buddy. You're the man. This team is awesome. We're hanging out all day. Woo! Man, I'm excited.
He better be excited. I'd be excited too. All his teammates work together. Help him win that race, guys.
He got the point lead too.
4 points.
Jamie Little.
Now joined by crew chief Steve Letarte. How about that finish? You guys hung back the whole day, Steve. Talk about the plan and how it was executed.
Well, first of all, I'd like to thank Shaq and Alice, everybody on that Lowe's Chevrolet team. We work close together, and it's hard when we come to a place like this because that 48 was going to be hard to beat. But we're all running for a championship. Hopefully, we work together the rest of the season real good. But it's great. Guys in DuPont Chevrolet did a great job. 550 employees at Henry Motorsports provided unbelievable speedway cars. Kept our chins up through qualifying. Knew we'd be going to the race, and the driver pulled us through.
You guys had that penalty here on pit road. How did you keep your driver calm in this game?
That's the beauty of working with a 4-time champion. We usually don't have to keep them calm. We just got to let them know how many laps to go. We got really lucky with the yellow, and we're going to seem to get lucky this year. We need to quit making mistakes, so we don't need so much luck. But race 4-10's over. Hopefully, we have 6 more good ones.
And Rick Henry, the owner down here, pumping his fist in the air, guys. Very happy crowd as they took over the points lead.
Jeff Gordon, folks, led 1 lap all day long. Actually, he led about a third of a lap, but it was the final third on lap 188.
And it was the right one. And right now, he's got a 4-point lead over his teammate Jimmy Johnson. But Clint Boyer held in there. Clint Boyer still in third in the points.
12th plate victory for Jeff Gordon, his 80th series victory in NASCAR's Nextel Cup, and the first sweep at Talladega. Yes, he won back in April since Dale Earnhardt did it in 2002. Dale Earnhardt Jr. did it in 2002.
Man, what a race. What a racetrack.
Lucky to stay patient for a long time. And finally, they turned it loose, and they said it's time to run right now.
And here is our Chevy winning moment. Jeff pulls out in front of Tony, and watch this move by the 24 car. Across the track in front of the 20, another Chevrolet for Tony Stewart to get that push by in the draft.
And that's what they say, it's each guy for himself right there. And Jeff Gordon is shot right out in front of his teammate, Jimmy Johnson, in front of Stewart. And you know what? It kind of worked out because they finished first and second. They didn't get hung out too bad there.
Dave Blaney, great effort, finishing in third in the Toyota. Hamlin fourth, Newman fifth, Mears sixth, and Kurt Busch seventh with Tony Stewart then back in 8th position. Tony Raines, a great top 10 finish in 9th, and Reed Sorensen in 10th position. Gordon's 5th win in 2007, the first time he's won since the middle of June at Pocono. He becomes the all-time winningest driver in restrictor plate competition, his 12th win on the plate tracks. Let's get down to victory lane and Alan Vester.
And a wide smile on Jeff Gordon's face as he goes to give a big soaked hug to Carl Rick Hendrick. Jeff, how did you get to the front?
I have no idea. This guy right here builds an awesome race car and has put together a heck of a race team. You know, we laid in the back and we didn't want to have to do it that way, you know, but this car is just a lot of unknowns. It's hairy out there, you know. We just wanted to play it safe until it really counted. And what I don't understand is how I ever got by my teammate, because I was there in behind him and got, you know, a couple pushes, but when the 12 and I think the 2 were on the outside of me, I really was just kind of stuck there. But when they got 3 wide, I said, this is my opportunity. I got pushed from the 22, and I went with the momentum. Luckily, when I got high and Jimmy tried to block me, the 20 was there, had nowhere to go. He drilled me, and he's the one that pushed me to the front. So, yeah, that's what you got to do. You got to put that rear bumper in front of those other guys' bumper at the right time. And I got to thank DuPont Pepsi, of course, this awesome-looking race car. Deborah's here designed it, and we invite all the fans to be a part of this. Hopefully we'll do it again next year. But I don't know where to start. You know, GMAC, Nicorette, all the folks from Georgia Pacific, and Sparkle. Amazing day, man.
Congratulations.
Thank you, thank you. I can keep going if you want.
Whoa! Yeah! He's pumped.
All the emotion here of Jeff Gordon, and he takes a 4-point lead over Jimmy Johnson in second place. And we're going to be talking to all these other drivers and be able to get updates from these drivers and what they thought about their race today. What a finish at Talladega. All that and more coming up on SportsCenter over on ESPN. Congratulations to NASCAR Nextel Cup at Talladega race winner and now new chase leader Jeff Gordon, his 6th win at Talladega. Next week, the chase for the championship continues, and we head to Charlotte, North Carolina. Coming up next, except on the West Coast, ABC's World News, or your local news over most of these ABC stations. Once again, what an effort. Jeff Gordon, a winner at Talladega. Thanks for watching, folks. ESPN on ABC.